Hi, y'all. I am Rose, and for some reason, my partner in crime uh, will be right back. We're having some tech difficulties because I don't know. So she'll be joining us in just a moment. Ready? And there she is. Nope. So excited. And then the drama, the amazingness, because we need the drama for our beautiful and wonderful Amber to join us. And I think she'll be here in 2. Okay, every time I say that, she just kind of pops off. So, just so you know, you should get your tarot cards ready. You should get your spreads ready that you enjoy doing, because we're going to talk about spreads tonight. We're going to talk about all the things that you might happen to see when you're doing spreads. Because again, you need to keep in mind that spreads can be fun. They can be the classics. They can be whatever we want to be. Flashing in and out, exactly, John. I don't know what's going on, but it's one of those special magical moons that we have sometimes. And I see other folks. Hello. So while Amber is waiting to get ready, I will just start chatting with you and let you know. So some of my favorite things to do are spreads. I really do enjoy making them. And a simple straight away thing to think about is, what is it that you want to create? And yes, hi, Fred. Hi, Heather. So glad that you were both able to, and John, I'm sure John is there, right? To join us. When we look at spreads, a lot of us, gravitate towards the standard 3-card spread or the Celtic cross, because it's what comes with your little red book or your little white book. It comes with your deck because it's one that's well known. And it sometimes is great because you've got a system that is in your head and you're able to just go out and do it. But at the same time, sometimes it's fun to see what else is out there, what else you could explore. How can you build a thing that's specific for what you're working on? So I would say that when you're starting out, you're going to start with mind, body, spirit, past, present, future for those 3-card spreads. But then you could also have it be, what's my question? What do I need to know? And then what can I do with those 2 things that have just been shared with me? So give yourselves a little bit of a twist to that 3. And then you could always add a 4th of, okay, so what do I need to bring in? So then you've got 4 cards. It's just, how do you want to play with it? And making it fun, not only for you, but also for the person you're reading for. And it's always fun to be able to balance it by practicing on yourself and figuring things out. For me, adding in a bit of pop culture, because that is where my heart is, always is fun. And seeing how I can take Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, let's use that for an example for right now, while we're waiting for Amber. What you could do is you can do a card for each of the spreads, and each of the cards can be a dwarf. And again, you've got all of the meanings right there. Happy, dopey, sneezy, why are you sick? What can help with that? Sleepy, why are you tired? What's pulling your energy? Grumpy, why are you not happy in the situation you're in? And then snow is, how do you take all of this and move yourself forward? And you can play with those things as you do it. You can also play with Star Wars, for example. Hi, Amber. So good to see you. I hope we can get this fixed so we can chat with you, because this is weird. Planning this whole thing and then not having you here to talk about it with me. It's weird, But as a thing to note, tarot spreads were created by somebody. So when you're in the middle of thinking about, what can I do? Remember, tarot spreads were created by somebody else. So what can you do? What is something that interests you that you could make a spread around? A real fun, easy way to get your feet wet would be, grab your favorite major card, pick 3 elements from it and then figure out what they mean. So, for example, doing the Lovers card, that's my favorite. You've got Adam and Eve, or the man and the woman, depending on how you wanna look at it. You've got the angel, and then you've got a mountain. There's 4 elements right there. So what would the angel say? Would the angel be the advice giver? And then the man or the woman could be feminine traits, masculine traits, and the mountain is things that you have to overcome. And look, you've got a 4-card spread. You could take out the mountain and just do a 3-card spread. It really depends on what you're going for. Also, when you're in conversation with the person you're giving a reading to, ask them questions, bring them in, and what would they want to know? What would, if you handed them, tell them to choose a major, and then the two of you can look at the cards and pick 3 elements that matter, and then build a spread around that. It's kind of crazy what you can really create for yourself as you go. Um, I am looking at notes that we shared because that's what we do over here. Um, it can be very rewarding when you realize that you've hit on something that not only made sense to you, the creator, but also when you share it with others and they're like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that." And it can be so much fun. That's true. Um, so for example, I will, again, pop culture nerd, and one of my favorite spreads that I created a bit ago was, of course, because if you know me, the Wonder Woman spread. And the first card is the top of her head. It's her tiara. It's what do you need to know to help you today? The eagle on her chest, the what it will bring you strength to handle this current situation. The 3 and the 4 are the bracers of Wonder Woman, and they're like, what or who do you need to guard yourself against in this situation? And then 5 is your lasso of truth. What is or are the words of truth you need to hear today? And then 6, last card, is your invisible jet. What are you not seeing that could hurt or help with the situation or the issue? And the spread is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Simple, but again, it matches something I'm interested in. And yes, we will put the Wonder Woman spread on the show notes. So that's really awesome. And again, you need to dig into what you love to maybe make a connection for yourself if you want to do something simple, but you can always, always go to the little books that come with your deck, because that will give you an idea of what the deck creator might have been thinking of the person writing the little white book. I know that in the Starman Tarot, for example, there's a spread specifically dedicated to that. And you can always, look at how it affected everything. As you create a spread, think about what makes it memorable. Yes, that's exactly right, Amber. I will say some of the best spreads do emerge from storytelling and being able to create what you need as you go. One of my favorite ways, one of my favorite decks sets, it's an Oracle deck actually. And this is the first one in that series. It's the Season of the Witch Oracle. And there's a whole section, and each oracle has a similar section that is focused on the information you can get from the deck. But I have found that using the spreads on tarot as well really helps. So I'm just going to pull one out and share it with you guys. The Coming of Winter spread, because Samhain is about that time where we go from being in the light and it's the ending and the harvest and everything's ending, and we're getting ready to go into the darkness. And so this one is called the Coming of the Winter spread. It is 7 cards, so 4 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and it's a way to reflect on your journey and how you're going and where you're going. So the first card is, what is my energy like right now? Because again, you want to be in the moment. What do I need to reflect on right now is card number 2. Card number 3 is, what is the lesson behind the situation? So what is it you're asking the question about? So what is it you're trying to learn from this? Card number 4 is, what is something I'm overlooking? Because we always have our blind spots. And that's a wonderful thing about tarot is being able to pull those cards and say, well, what am I missing? Because I'm so focused on the issue. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Let me see if I can pull in some of that energy outside of my head to see what might I be missing in this situation. Now, card 5 was, how can I refresh my energy? And I think that's important sometimes when you are trying to uh, get a better idea of what a situation is, to how can I take care of myself while I'm dealing with the situation. And yeah, you're building the spread around your experiences, your events, your questions, seasons, or stories. And I think that's a really important point, Amber. Um, And then this way I thought was really good because it says, how can I protect myself against future storms? So, what is something like, I'm in the moment now, but what can I do to help my future self? That's a great card to pull. And then the last in this particular one is, how can I prepare myself for future growth? So you can see how you can use those. Each symbol will give you a little bit of taste of how to build better, how to expand, how to understand what the situation is for this particular moment in time. One of my other favorite things is to remember to think about tarot spreads as ways to create action, not just tell you a thing, but provide you with actions to take. Um, my favorite teacher, oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, spreads are the narrative. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yes, they should. When you're building them, they should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And doing a 3-card spread really helps with that, because you can, beginning card is number 1, middle card is number 2, and then of course the ending is number 3. Or you can add more, but action is super important, because again, you pull cards and then you do nothing. What was the point of the pulling the cards? So I always want to remind people, action tarot. James Wanless, one of my heroes, that was the big thing that I always took away from any class I got from him was action. You want to create action. So yes, you pulled the Lovers, but what do you do with it? You pull another card, great. That tells you the action to interact with those 2 cards. That's how you can build your spreads as well. Is like, you can do a 3-card spread, but to enhance it, you can add other cards to give you the actions that can go with the psychology that you've just pulled up in front of you, because again, psychology. All right, I'm going to go back to my notes because I have them. So I would say something to keep in mind too is, spreads are not just about esotericism. They can be about games. They can be about storytelling, journalism. One of my other favorite things to do when I'm like in the middle of writing a story is, I need to know more about my character. I'll pull tarot cards for them. I will do a 5-card spread saying, where are they at right now? What is their strength? What are they coming forwards with? What is that they're forgetting? And then what is coming up for them? And use those informational bits to build that character out fully. And Fred is saying, what is your next right step was always the card that Nancy Hendricks always wanted to, yeah, at the end, you wanted, what's your next step? What can you do? I love that. That is, that's that 4th card, that action card in a 3-card spread, for example. And yes, fantastic direction from a wise diviner. I love that. So I would ask you, since you're listening all, what makes a tarot spread memorable? What is it that you look forward to when you're in the middle of doing spreads with someone? You're talking about it, how does it help? And I think keeping it simple is always the best way. Make sure that every position is clear with purpose. But what about for you? Can you say, this was a memorable spread because? Was it because of the spread, or was it because of the way you interacted with it? Or was it also because of the reader and how they reminded you how to connect to the spread? Things to think about. Make sure that every card spread has a clear point. You kind of want to avoid being, what's the right word? you don't want to be wishy-washy, but you also don't want things to kind of like, well, this card or this card could mean the same thing. You don't want that. You want to just be clear. This position is this position is this, and this position is that. Yes, you can create a story with that or a sentence, but making sure each position has its own gravitas, has its own weight, really is a good way to move that spread forward. And again, building the spread around an experience. So when you're having those conversations with the person you're going to do a reading for, you want to kind of make sure that you are asking them questions and getting their feedback to help inform what your spread's going to be. How are you going to build it? Where is it going to go? And I think that what you really want to sit down and think about is, okay, I'm going to meet this person and I've asked them a couple of questions. They've told me what their topic is. How can I pull out cards that represent questions that go with what they want to know about? So that's really important. And yeah, avoid repetition as much as you possibly can, because if you are repeating yourself, you're not going to get as much information out. Even though the cards are different in front of you, asking it the same question may not be the right way to go, if you will. And again, beginning, middle, and end, keep that in mind. Always include maybe the wild card, that extra card. So for me, when I do a 3-card spread, I always pull the card off the bottom and I call it my hidden message, because that card is like something I didn't consider. And this way I've got this extra knowledge to add to what I've already pulled. And it helps clarify sometimes, or just gives me another thing to keep in mind when we're talking about the topic. And yes. And sometimes the client's stories, as they talk, you'll provide you with those questions. Exactly. Their statements can be a card. And we're hearing from the guys. I always look for what is the thread that is joining all of the cards in their respective positions in the spread. What is the story the cards want the client to know? Exactly. Thank you, John. Thank you, Fred. Exactly right. You want to get the story that the cards are trying to relay. You don't want to necessarily follow, okay, so here's the question. This is a pat answer. Then you're doing yourself and the cards a disservice by not really digging deeper. And sometimes we do get into a repetitive position of, oh, I know what that card means. Oh, I know what that card means. But at the same time, it means a little bit different because it's a different question, a different person, something is slightly different. And yeah, getting those spreads are kind of an organic way to do it and really get you involved, dig into things. I'm looking at all the other things. Oh, no, I'm going to wait on that, hoping you'll come join me. So before we get into that, I wanted to share some of my favorite books that are about spreads, because I can. So my first one that I've had for a very long time, I believe it is still in print, is called Power Tarot. Now, it talks about how to read cards, but at the very back of it, it'll give you ways to read different cards, different amounts of cards. It'll give you it by question, but it'll also give it to you by how, like a yes, no, are always, these are the yes cards, these are the no cards. If you want to do a very simple 1 card, 2 cards, yes, no spread. But it breaks it down. So I'm going to hand you a little picture, cover my face for just a minute. So you can see 2 card spreads, 3 card spreads that are not just your regular spreads. But if you keep going throughout, the one that always was like, what? For me was where is it? There's one. It is the room spread. And look how many cards that is. That's a lot. And again, but it's also using the room as your, it's got the different parts of the house. And then it also talks about, the rear door, the front door, the loft, all the different spaces in a home. And then how do they all connect to become something that will help you in your home, for example? Um, Another one that I really like, and I've got it, is dream interpretation. And I'm going to show that one real quick. I don't know if you can see. There you go. I know you can't read the words. Don't worry. I'll read them. It is done with 12 cards, and it's 1 through 3 is the images that describe your dream. 4 through 6, so you're reading them in lines. Oh, wait, no, lines, excuse me, up and down. They're vertical, not horizontal. 4 through 6 is what dream images mean. What do those mean? So you've got where's the dream is, here's the images, what they mean. 7 through 9 is how they affect your waking life. So how does this information now affect you while you're upright and moving around? And then 10 through 12 is how can you best use this information to move forward? And Power Tarot is still available. Thank you, Amber. It is by Trish McGregor and Phyllis Vega. Here's the cover yet again. I don't know if this is still the same cover, but I'm sure we can find it. So I would recommend like something like this to really give you some tastes of what you can do. You don't have to follow any of these. You can take what you see and then move it. There is a 19 card spread in here. No, I'm not going to read it. And the 20 card spread, which is generally the New Year's spread, is there's a version of it in this that I do like, but I don't use it myself. What I do for the New Year spread is I do a big circle, 1 card for each month, and then the 13th card is your overall. And I use that, so I use 1 deck for the outer ring, and then 1 card from another deck entirely, so that in case I want to, I don't want to miss out on any of the cards if I pull another one to be in the center. So that way I've not limited myself. And that's another thing. You can blend cards. You can use more than 1 deck in a spread if you don't think you're going to overwhelm the person you're reading for, or yourself if you're reading for yourself. And then, so that's been part of my library for a long time. And then I went to Reader Studio, and Barbara Moore was teaching a class on how does one create spreads, and we did all of this because what she was doing was she was working on a book. This is it. It is Tarot Spreads by Barbara Moore, and she tells you how you can create spreads and how you can turn around those spreads to be more connected with your specific questions, and it tells you not to be limited in the way you do things. And she'll give you here, I'll just hold this up so you can see the pretty picture. And then the other side will tell you what each of the cards mean and how to really connect with what you're asking. And one of the things she did in her class is she broke us all up and she had us make tarot spreads based on a card in our deck. She did limit us all to our majors and only, so it made it easier. And then we were able to share them with everyone in the room. And it was really interesting to see who connected to which images. Even though we were all using those 22 cards, there were, I believe, 50 different spreads that people created in groups of 2s and 3s. So don't limit yourself to just, I only know these 2 spreads. I can't think of anything else, because it's possible to do anything. And since I still don't have my illustrious partner in crime who is monitoring the chat, so thank you, I will try and attempt to do her beautiful spread that she did. And it's again, you can create spreads with anything. And she did one called The Beautiful Game. And it's a 4-card World Cup match spread. And it's about how to use that energy. So the first card is home team energy. Second card is away team energy. Third card is the match itself. And the fourth card is key moments to watch during the World Cup. So I think you can apply this to other major games, like the World Cup, or Amber, would you say you could watch it with any game during the World Cup? Or is it just, I would say any game, but she is not So again, it's not necessarily about predicting winners. It's about focusing on the atmosphere. It's focusing on everything around you. Focusing on this, when you're following a specific team, focus on that for them. And it can be used in any game. So that's good. But you're also looking at what cards go together, what cards are different, how do they interact? Are they facing each other or facing away from each other? Those are things to look at when you're reading a spread and how to interpret them as it's going. And yes, books are great starting places, as they're good jumping off points. They give you a way to do that. And oh, and so is that an extra card to add to the spread, the penalty kick, or is that a tarot spread? Amber, please answer that. But yeah, to quote Fred, these are good places to start your journey, to start that jumping off point where you get to begin, like dip your toe and then build and go forward. And yeah, I do like that as a position. What's the penalty? What penalties are happening in the key moments there? So again, what would you want to talk about? What would you want in a good spread? And I think that for me, it's always about what is the conversation first off. Oh, it's a whole spread. Okay, now we're going to have to share that in the show notes because I really want to know what that is because I don't get to see that. So again, like finding your topic is really important too when you're creating a spread. Is like, okay, what am I doing this for? Is it for a specific question, a specific client? Is it yes, Tarot Tableau Revolution looks at using Lenormand spreads. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So you can how you can play with Lenormand instead of tarot. Again, any system will have multiple ways to read it. You don't have to limit yourself to the ones that are known. Specifically in Lenormand, I know for me, I always want to go to either the 2-card spread or all of them, all 36, because I'm crazy. But every person is different. So you get to play and get to see what makes sense for you. And then again, and yes, I just used that word. I would suggest finding out what your topic is going to be. For me, for example, I did a Wonder Woman spread because I'm a big Wonder Woman nerd. And again, new books for everybody. And then again, I also think about, all right, so I wanted to have a different spread for each because I'm a witch, as we all know. And so I created spreads to go for each of my time of the year on the wheel of the year, on the Wiccan wheel of the year. So I have a spread for Imbolc. I have a spread for Ostara. I have a spread for Samhain. I have a spread for Midsummer. I have a spread for all of the holidays because I can't remember all of them right now. But when I was creating them, my point for that was to make sure it went with the holiday. So for example, Imbolc is a candle and a snifter to, light the way, but also how do I protect myself? Oh, the Golden Girls spread. Yes. Always Golden Girls are always a good one. It's who is your Dorothy? Who is your Rose? Who is your Sophia? Who is your Blanche? And then what would be the magical extra card on that, Amber? I have forgotten. So yeah, you want to bring in things that you love. Bring in your pop culture. Bring in your movies. What would your Gone with the Wind spread be? Who would be your Scarlet? Who would be your Rhett Butler? Who would be your Ashley? And who would be Miss Melly? And what would Tara be? Because those were the big things that happened in Gone with the Wind. What about the Peanuts? Cheesecake? Okay, I'm missing something there, but cheesecake sounds delicious right now. What about the Peanuts? You could do who's Charlie Brown, who's Lucy, who's Sally, who's Linus, who's Snoopy, and how do you blend all of your cards to make sense with that? Um, I don't want people to give up when it looks like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. How could I blend this? How could I pull cards and do that?" So, grab your cards. And so because there's a spread that we did, called, where is it now? The sports spread. I'm gonna pull cards for that because I can. But I gotta get my tech deck open. So what I'm using today is the Simplicity Tarot by Emily Muniz. And I'm also using her Rose Red Edition because I love it. So I'm going to blend it up and we'll pull the 4 cards. So now only the problem is I don't know enough about who's playing right now. So Amber, you're going to have to throw some things at me as we do it. But I'm going to pull one for Germany because that would be my home team if I were watching the World Cup, because I do love the Germans. And then we'll say any other team will be the away team because we don't know who they're playing right now. The match itself would be the 4th card, and the key moments to watch is there. All right. So the first card for Germany, we picked the Page of Wands. So new ideas and creativity. So they're going to have to use some of that to really keep their feet in this game. The away team, the away team is going to use the moon energy. They've got singular focus. They are going to really have the eye on the prize for them. And, but they also have a little bit of fear because they're still not sure of their footing because the Germans have won many times. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then the match itself, it says productivity and practicality for the Knight of Coins. For me, it's like it will be very evenly matched. It'll be not exciting, but it'll be very steady and moving forward and very focused. I get a point, you get a point, I get a point, you get a point kind of feel. And then the key moments to watch for, is the Ace of Cups. There'll be a breakout moment that will just surprise all of us. And it will be very emotional and it'll be surprising. So yeah, that's kind of a fun way to look at it, So I would ask you, what cards would you pull? What cards would you focus on? Get in touch with how you connect. Amber, what's the team that you all are rooting for in the World Cup? Because I know you and Callie are big fans, big fans. Goal in the 90th minute. Oh, okay. That would be a key moment, having that last few seconds of the game for sure. And they're going to feel each other out. Yes, that's a good way to look at that, right? So again, it's just pulling the cards together. You have a few. Southern Korea. Okay, so again, pull cards for the team that you care about and see what are the key moments in their games and see how they connect. I can't vote for them right now. As much as I love them and I am from there. If it were women's soccer, all over it. So just putting it out there. Switzerland. Oh, I see. You're giving me all of them. Okay, so South Korea, USA, Switzerland. Who else are you voting for? Is anybody playing from Ireland? I'm assuming, but I don't. Again, I'm bad at this soccer stuff. I apologize, gang. Somebody's voting for the Netherlands. Nice choice. Go Holland, go, as the Americans say, but the Netherlands is how you say it. But again, you want to get your focus so that when you pull those cards, it makes sense to you who doing the reading. I do think that being able to envision what next steps can happen is always good. Oh, no, Ireland. Okay, well, it is what it is. They just didn't make it. Yes, all of the teams, we do hope they do well. And it'll be exciting no matter what, because it's just the roar of the crowd, the feeling of cheering for your home team or for the team that's going against, the team you don't like. It's always fun to play in that game, play in that energy, and really bring it up for yourself. So I don't know what else to talk about, Amber. I miss you. You're not here. I would also say, if there is a favorite deck that you like to use, that's what you use when it's something personal. The underdog, yes, always the underdog team. Um, and look at, is the hometown team energy the underdog energy? Can you pull that in? So yeah. Um, so on that note, I don't know what else to talk about. And I know that sounds so silly. I know that we are really excited for the next couple of events. We've got some really great people we're talking to, some amazing books. Speaking of amazing books, I have to say that I have a friend who I have known for a very long time, and I'm just going to quickly do this. It's coming out soon. So this is from Siobhan Rivas, or V of Red Light Tarot, or Red Light Readings, excuse me. And she has written her first book. We're very proud of her. So yeah. And again, I'm reading all the notes now. The advisory team card you put under the tower. Anyway, we're very excited for V. Her book will be coming out shortly. When does it release? She did not read that in advance. She is fired, but I'm super excited for her. I know this has been a labor of love that she has been gently working on for a while now, and it will be out shortly in your hands. So just look for it. Very good, very good. And I think that we are very excited about that. And hopefully we'll be able to chat with her in the future. I know we're going to be talking with Judica Isles of Wiser Books next month. And we are super excited for that. She's got a deck coming out as well. And then we've got Yesbelt. Oh God, I've forgotten her name now. I'm so fired. And I'm like, I love her. She's great. She did a book recently, New Moon. I'm going to cheat and look at my notes because I have notes on it. And yes, you all are allowed to make fun of me for that. There it is. Fernandez. How could I forget this? This woman's amazing. And it's like, why can't I remember anything? I am so tired, I guess. Noon Moon Life Design. Manifest the life you want using lunar cycles, tarot, and astrology. That's a lot. And it's an amazing little book. So I'm looking forward to chatting with her about that and seeing what she's been up to. She is out of New York, so that's cool. I am so doing a spread about tonight's technical. Yes, that is New Moon Life Design. Thank you. Yes, we are going to be doing a spread about new moon energy affecting us as we deal with our technology. And we really appreciate that your patience and your understanding. So yeah, that's what's coming up. Thank you for taking a moment to chat with us, or me and the team online, about all the things we've been doing. And thank you so much for just taking a little bit at a time out of your day to listen, to watch. And if you have any questions or any people you would love us to chat with, please feel free to send an email to Tarot Visions Show. There's 2 S's in there, visionsshow@gmail.com. Happy Pride Month, of course. I can't believe June is almost there, right? Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being in our chat and keeping it lively. I hope that you will share with us the spreads you make, as well as what will be your results of your World Cup polls. All right. Thank you. And you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye. for doing it.